Michelle Torrio, and this is the Be Mindful podcast. Hi there, and welcome back to the Be Mindful podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about how you can really find the joy in life before the breakthroughs. I wanted to talk about this today because most of our life we're waiting. We're waiting for a new milestone to reach. Maybe we're waiting to make more money, or maybe we're waiting to lose weight. And we've just become so focused on reaching the next milestone that sometimes we forget about the little moments in between. And those moments in between, that's when life is really happening. And I've been thinking recently that this is something that God really wants us to pay attention to. Pay attention to you being in the process in between you reaching a new breakthrough or a new milestone. Now, before we get into the episode, I want to welcome you if you're new to the episode. If you were into mindset, manifestation, talking about faith, growth, transformation, any of those topics, then go ahead and like and subscribe for more. And as always, leave a comment if there's any topics you want me to discuss. Let's get right into the episode. One of the things that I have noticed is that our culture tends to focus on the next thing. Like the moment you reach a milestone, a breakthrough, an accomplishment, it's like, okay, what's next? What can we do better? What is bigger than this? How can we get faster? How can we improve? How can we be more productive? How can we make more money? If you're always chasing the next season, then you're not really living life. Like you're not being here. The reason why we can sometimes feel so stuck in the process of reaching another milestone is because our brain only notices like big changes, right? Like if you end up moving, like I moved to this new environment, this new home over a year ago. And familiar things to your brain start to become, in a way, normal and invisible and just like the ordinary. This is your new normal. So what happens is that the moment your brain becomes more familiar with it, it starts to no longer feel exciting. Like for example, the house I prayed for, I got it and it was so exciting in the very beginning, and I just felt so much gratitude every single day waking up. And there are moments where this year I noticed that I didn't really have that excitement anymore. And I was really focusing, okay, what's next? Like, what's the next big thing that I want to focus on? Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with focusing on the next step, but it's really still going back to the moments of gratitude and recognizing like you are literally in a place that you once prayed for. And because you got here, that means that you can get to the next milestone, but it doesn't mean we need to rush or force into it. So the goal that you reach or the miracle that happened, it doesn't exactly disappear. And when you step into gratitude, gratitude isn't pretending that everything is perfect. It's really training your brain to see the familiarity and like the ordinary and the normal that your brain has kind of been hiding. Gratitude is a practice I highly recommend to do every single day, because when you do that, you are training your mind to not focus on your problems, not focus on the things that aren't going wrong. You're focusing on everything that you can really be grateful for. And I like to do it specifically on things that I worked so hard towards and reminding myself like, okay, I got here. So that means I can do even more. I can go bigger. I can literally create a life that I can't even dream of because God has bigger plans than me. And sometimes when we're working towards something, it could just feel like such a long process, and it can feel like we're not going anywhere, like we're not moving forward. And sometimes it can feel like, okay, like, God, where are you at? Like, where are the signs? Like, am I missing them? Or if you don't believe in God, maybe universe, light source, energy, whatever you believe in, like it could feel like, am I doing this alone? Like, why doesn't it feel like things aren't pulling the needle? Like, why are things not looking like they're moving forward? We have to remember that God, the universe, whatever you believe in, He doesn't meet us at just like the breakthroughs and the milestones that we reach. He also meets us in the ordinary, the times like this where we are responsible to focus on what we have now while staying ambitious. it's okay to be grateful for what you have now while wanting to work towards everything else that you desire and want to have in your life. So when you get stuck in those moments of feeling like nothing's moving forward, when is my next big thing going to happen? Remind yourself to step back into right now. And maybe God is just reminding you to remember the blessings that you have in this moment. So, what I really want you to take away from this episode is really encouraging you to romanticize your life. Like, romanticizing your life doesn't mean everything is perfect. It's really being able to acknowledge the beauty of the small moments of life. And that can be in so many different ways. Like, for example, I came home from an appointment. My husband was cooking some food. We were playing music in the background, just talking and vibing. And it was a moment that I just kind of like let sink in and just be super grateful for, because we prayed for moments like this. And even though we're still working towards bigger and better dreams, like, it's so fulfilling to know like we worked so hard for this and we're living it right now, and this is a moment that like we're enjoying. Like, this is the beauty of life. Like, we're enjoying being in this moment that we won't get back later. Romanticizing your life is truly just purposely and intentionally slowing down to notice the beauty of your life. Especially today, like, a lot of us love to take pictures and take videos and share it online, and that's wonderful. But sometimes we are so busy documenting our life that we're not really experiencing it. And we won't appreciate life when we are constantly like rushing through it. So when you approach life today and you want to romanticize your life while being ambitious and going towards things that you desire to have or be and do, make it fun. Like, think of who you're becoming and be present through it. My focus recently has really been about getting hotter, getting smarter, being healthy. And what was the other one? Oh, and getting rich. Those are like what my focus has been on, but I've been telling myself, like, how can I enjoy the process of becoming this better version of myself while being really present with life and continuing to reel myself in when I'm feeling like nothing is changing and nothing is getting better, and that this is like how it's going to be. I share that because there are going to be moments where life seems boring because you don't have that new car, you don't have the new house, you don't have a new job. But it doesn't have to be exciting every single day. Like, life can still be peaceful and sometimes boring and sometimes repetitive and sometimes just quiet. A meaningful life isn't built on constant excitement. It's built on the ordinary moments that are repeated with intention. And examples of romanticizing your life can be like going and buying yourself flowers or going outside to read a book. Maybe you just want to dress up and look nice just because. Even when you're cleaning, like, you can turn on some music and enjoy that time because you get to clean an area that provides you peace, right? Where you live in your environment makes such a big difference. And so sometimes cleaning can be like a chore, but it's more of like, it's a blessing. Like, it's a blessing that you get to do that. You cannot tell yourself that I'll be happy when this happens. Like, I'll be happy because of X, Y, and Z. Trust me, you won't be if you don't work on the inner work, if you can't be grateful for right now. Romanticizing your life is doing more of the things that give you joy. Like, if you've been thinking of doing something because maybe you used to do it more when you were a kid and it's something that you want to start up again, do that. Me and my husband were talking about recently about having new hobbies and doing that just to like teach your brain something new, and then also just have a new activity. See if you like it. And I want you to remember that I'm not telling you to be positive all the time and that things are going to be perfect. That's not what this is about. Because even if there's things in life that happen and can be hard, joy and grief can still coexist. My goal in life is to live in the green zone. I heard this from Hannah Hammond. She was basically talking about living in the red, the yellow, and the green zone. I'll try to find the podcast episode and put it in here so that you can go watch it and get like the breakdown of everything. But I'll just pretty much tell you what the green zone is. The green zone is pretty much choosing to, like in simple terms, not worry about the things that don't matter and just focus on what's important to you and like your values. And living in the green zone is you also choosing to respond than reacting. When we choose to live in the green zone for most of our life and really just focus on things that give us joy and make us happy, like we make our lives so much easier. We don't have to worry and stress about the future when we are focusing on right now. When we romanticize our life and we stop rushing or forcing things to happen, we pretty much can step back into like a childlike point of perspective. When you think about kids, like they approach things slower because they're learning, right? And they notice all the little things in the world and just have this sense of maybe not gratitude, but just more of like their world is their playground. And that's exactly how we can view it too. As we get older, we tend to lose that wonder sometimes. And I'm really trying to step back into that. I want you to look at it this way. You are the main character of your life. So this is not in a self-centered way, but more so choosing to live intentionally in your life rather than passively. If you've been around, if you've listened to past episodes, you know I'm all about going after your dreams and being locked in. That was one of my recent episodes. But as you work towards those dreams, I want you to pay attention to the small moments. And I want you to become aware of those moments where life does seem boring or doesn't feel like things are moving. Those are the moments that you can choose to be grateful for and see how you can make life just so much more fun. Now, before I end this episode, I want you to ask yourself, what are some things that maybe you've been taking for granted, like that it just seems so ordinary to you and it's just the same repetitive thing? Like, how can you turn that around and have a different perspective while romanticizing your life? So that can be like when you make your coffee in the morning or when you're driving to work, or it can be as simple as you just going outside and having the sun touch your face and realizing that I get to do this. Like some people can't. Maybe some people are sick. Maybe some people are in the hospital and they can't even go outside just because they want to. It can be as small as that. Like think of all of the things that you do every single day that have been repetitive and felt so boring, but yet you can still romanticize it. You could still put in the effort to have fun and like make everything so much more enjoyable. So my last advice for you is to not rush onto the next exciting or extraordinary thing. Because one day you'll be able to look back and realize that the ordinary things are usually the most extraordinary experiences that you can go through. And also, don't forget to be mindful because who you are from within will attract from the out. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.